So, first thing in the morning, checking if the car is charging. 1310 watts. Yeah, it has charged. That's the bar from today. It's almost 7 kilowatt hours. So finally I'm back into the normal charge mode. It will be another beautiful winter summer day. I've got you covered. So the charging speed is slowing down now, 1.1 kilowatts and 7.4 kilowatt hours, 5 hours 35. I like these figures. I wanted to get something out of the car, something really important. So Jared, today is the day. This morning before I go to work, I'll fix this one up. Finally. So the car is still charging with 80 watts for the last 15 minutes. I think the BMS is totally confused now with my unusual charging pattern for the last couple of days. Haha, I just said it. It's totally confused, and look at this. I lost half an ampere hour again. Interestingly, I'm down to 80.8%. Let's have a look at the battery condition here. Wow, that is a big jump again. Within 200, yeah, exactly 200 kilometers. Not good. So I'm back to 80%. If I'm going below 80%, Mitsubishi, here I am. Yeah, so the charging pattern of the last couple of days must have confused the BMS totally. And that's why it did the balancing this morning for about 20 minutes all in total on just 100 watts. You know, I recharged the car at work to 100%, then drove it down to only 40%, then went back to work and charged it up to 80%. This is totally against the usual charging pattern, but it shouldn't make any difference. The BMS should cope with all this different charging you're doing, but obviously it has a problem with that. So wonderful, beautiful Thursday morning. I've got no appointment yet, so I can go straight home with my 30.7 ampere hours. Wow, that is insane, really. I was almost expecting it because I didn't fully charge the car sometimes. So there was no time left at work to charge to 100%, and it was only to 90%, 85%, 95% sometimes. And obviously this brings the battery management system totally out of whack. It can't cope with such a strange charging behavior that you're not fully charge your car, then only partly discharge it. It loses track of the capacity and then it goes down again, as it just did this morning. Half an ampere hour gone, down to 80.8%. So that was exactly the point of time last year when I rang Mitsubishi and said, look, something's going on with my battery. Please have a look. But as I said, I will have access to a MUT3 device soonish. And yeah, probably have a look if I can do the BMS reset myself. A self-smoothing procedure will take 48 hours at least. Discharge to the lowest point possible and then very slow charge to 100% to make the BMS aware of the real capacity of the battery. I probably haven't got time to do that, but a battery reset, a BMU reset, should be fine. I was just editing the video from Sunday last night, and I had another look at this 7 ampere hour loss, and I said something was strange, and I said it in the video as well. Something does not match. See, I was down to 30.7 ampere hours, and I know what it was now. So basically, when I drove down to take these photos, I had the dog running, and I stopped frequently to take more photos, and I didn't bother to turn on the dog anymore. So what it was, the initial drive down to my first photo shoot was locked by the dog, but then I didn't bother to turn it on anymore. And then when I turned it on after 5 hours, so after these 5 hours, I turned on the dog again, and it took the initial drive as the last recording, and everything in between I drove was not recorded and was measured as a loss. So I said this is the 7 ampere hours loss, but no, that was the 7 ampere hours we have used to drive around. I didn't realize this on Sunday when I did it. I was just, what? -7? Because usually this is now a habit to turn on the dog and lock all your drive. I usually turn it on every time I start the car. I press the start button, the power button in the car, I turn on the dog. This is just one process now, and I didn't do this on Sunday. That's why I had this 7 ampere hours loss, what I thought. But now this was not lost. This was just me not turning on the dog, and wow, she's got a very insecure driving style behind me. It was not a young lady in there with this small car, in this pink small car behind me. But she just pulled over from the left lane to the right lane because of the construction work here, and cut off the car which was behind her. And she goes left, right, left, right. Oh well. It will be interesting to see how a fully autonomous vehicle cope with such drivers. As long as not all the cars are autonomous and talk to each other, they need to be aware of such drivers. So first time I'm wearing the logo, and this is a combination of different logos I have people have sent me, and matched and merged and mixed them all together now into this logo. I'm not sure if this is the final logo. This is just better what we had before. The overall idea is coming from you guys, from other places, and I just said, oh, this looks good, this looks amazing, this is perfect. And I said, yeah, but I can't use it because it's been used by someone else already. So I took little bits and pieces of here and there. Yeah, so Jared, finally it has happened. Can you see your parts? Excellent, thank you very much for sending something over. So when I switched the PHEV Watchdog over from ampere hours to kilowatt hours, I now have 9.2 kilowatt hours left. This is the maximum capacity the battery can take. It's supposed to be 12 kilowatt hours, but it's now going down to 9.2 with 80.8% state of charge. So since the BMS reset, is it BMS or BMU? I don't know. I'm always confused what to say. So since the reset of the battery management unit, this is actually 8 months ago. So 8 months ago I had 100% state of health battery, and from there on, you have seen the other video with the battery degradation after 5 months, and after 8 months I'm back to where I was. So I keep this going for a while, and if I go under 80%, I will let Mitsubishi know, and we probably do another nice reset or whatever they are up to. I don't know yet. I mean, if you read through the forum, a lot of people have done this BMU reset now, and they all experience the same. It goes down fairly quickly. People have sent me emails and messages so far with their experience. So thank you very much for sending all this information over. I haven't responded to everyone yet because it's so much information and so little time for me to get this all done. And I need to do some videos in between as well. Anyway, I will definitely respond to your... So that's where we are. See, kilowatt hours, 9.2 kilowatt hours. That's the 100%. That's all I get. And 30% of it, so 3 kilowatt hours, will stay in the car. That's the bottom reserve we can't use. So theoretically, I'm down to 6 kilowatt hours, 6 kilowatt hours of usable energy in the car. The guys from the club are already here, but I'm not charging up today. The battery gauge, oh, there's a little bit of sun here. The battery gauge is a little bit over 56%. Thanks, Daniel. A little bit over half full. And we've got 22 kilometers left. And yeah, I'll park the car here for the next 8 hours. And then we see what's going on when I'm coming back. If I can still make it with 80.8% of the battery. Okay, see you then. So I had a quick chat with Leon from the club here, and they're always happy for my car to be plugged in, but today I don't need it because I don't have an appointment after work. So I'm going straight home, and if something comes in I can always go down and plug in and charge the car. Excellent, that's very good. Thank you very much.
5 hours later.
Last year in October I was down to 80.8% at 58,000 kilometers. And then the next the next battery card is at 99.7% when they have done the BMU reset to 100%. So it had already lost 0.1 ampere hour when the car was over there. And now after many I'm back to 80.8%. This is at 69,700, so it's 11,000 kilometers and I'm back. So every 10,000 kilometers you're losing 20% of your capacity. At least that's what the battery management unit thinks. Isn't that very annoying? I'm super annoyed. I'm extremely annoyed. Generally speaking, it is a pretty good car. It is a good concept. The technology makes sense as long as we don't have pure electric vehicles. But this bullshit here makes me really angry. I have received a couple of messages from you guys with your experience. And I cannot believe what I'm reading there, really. Mitsubishi is refusing to acknowledge this problem, pushing back to the customer, saying the car is within the specs, does not provide any help, any assistance. And apparently this is not only a problem with the first or second generation of this car, it's also a problem with the newer cars. We have owners in the forum which have reported state of health loss with brand new vehicles, and this is something we cannot accept. Mitsubishi has taken $50,000 from us, and now they are not maintaining, improving and fixing the software for it, and just leave it up to the customer and say, yep, that is battery degradation. It is bullshit. It is not battery degradation. It is just a software problem. And then I've got several viewers which have sent me messages, which have commented on my videos, asking if I can recommend this car. What am I supposed to answer? It is definitely a yes and a no. And at the moment, the no overweights the yes by far. The BMS software is just terrible. It does a terrible job in calculating the state of health of the battery. I have never heard about any other electric vehicle having this problem. where the software is so bad that after 600 kilometers it downgrades the capacity of the battery. And other drivers have mentioned they can't feel any loss of range, of EV range, when the battery degrades or the software seems to degrade the battery capacity. So they reckon the overall kilometer range you get out of the car stays almost the same. But if you do the measurement on it, if you have the PHEV Watchdog and watch all the figures closely over a long period of time, I'm doing this for almost a year now. I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of trip cards here to compare, and battery health cards as well. So I've got a pretty good understanding of what is happening with the software and the state of health of the battery. And of course, if you lose 0.1 ampere hour, or even in this case 0.5, half an ampere hour, you won't feel it like it is 5 kilometers less. This is maybe only 150, 200 meters, say. I don't know how much it is in total. And over time, if you lose 0.1 ampere hour over time and add this all up, and you have lost, like I have now, I'm more than 7 ampere hours down. Without the PHEV box, I would not be able to drive from home to work and back home. I tell you that. This is only because I've got the PHEV box installed, because it saves me about 10% energy, and this is probably the 10% of range I have lost so far. The other day on the highway, the trip card, I was fully charged here when I left here. I drove to the customer and then home. That was 27 kilometers. That's it. Battery was empty. 27 kilometers. It was almost all highway drive. You know our highways here, they are fairly flat, so there's not much happening, and I'm not vlogging the car, so I'm not chasing anyone. I'm driving 100 as per speedometer, which is about 94, 95 in real world, and I got only 27 kilometers of range out of the battery. And I'm very sure that I could get 10 kilometers more out of the battery if it would have been on 100%. See, the first drives I did after the reconditioning, watch this video here, was very promising. It was super promising. The battery lasted forever. You could drive and drive and drive, and the battery gauge in the cockpit would not drop. It was amazing. You could really feel the full capacity, while now you just push the accelerator, you accelerate from 0 to 100 and you've got a 1 bar less already. And now on my drive, on my commute from home to work and back, which is 31 kilometers, I probably get 35 on maximum range out of the battery. The prediction is about 40-41 on the gasometer, 35 kilometers maximum range. That is around 22 miles. So far my afternoon lunch rant about Mitsubishi and the super shitty battery management software, which lets everyone down and they don't give a crap to fix it. As a battery cell smoothing procedure, battery management system reset is not a fix. They need to do much better. They've got all the data now from the last 5 years since this vehicle exists on the market. They should know everything about it and should just adapt the software to make it better, to make it more reliable, to just predict the real state of health of the battery a lot better. A lot better. So I'm on my way home, and we've got 60% charge left only. I just left the workplace here, and now I have to make it with 17 kilometers on the gasometer and 60% state of charge. It's not very much. Yeah, so we are home, 33.6% left, and I even turned on the heater at about 45%. I turned on the heater to nice and cozy 28 degrees. So no problem there. Even with 60% I can easily make it home. Okay, this concludes the last day of my work week. Tomorrow is a day off, but I've got an appointment with a customer, of course, on my free day, and so I need to charge the car. Hopefully it works. And I'll take you with me, of course. Okay, see you on PHEV Friday. Bye bye.